So you guys are going to limp off in the direction that you see these tracks moving away.
I'm actually doing pretty good.
I think we're more popping off.
And after a couple of 100 feet, you come across a dead orc with a knife jabbed into his neck. And laying next to him is the severed arm of an orange dragonborn. And then another maybe 15 or 20 feet beyond that, you see Orion with one arm laying in the ground with his great axe next to him. And it looks like these two have ended each other.
That tells a story.
Well, I'm gonna loot his corpse.
Loot his corpse. In his coin pouch. 62 pieces of gold.
I throw that over it. I throw that over at Whitney because I don't care about that.
72 pieces of silver. He has a beautiful ivory hilted stiletto.
There you go.
I mean, I'll give that to Red because I use a bow. I don't like being. If I'm in stabbing range, I'm doing something wrong and am in grave peril of being eaten. So no.
We saw that today.
He's also wearing his silvered short sword.
Oh. Red can also have that if he wants.
Yeah, I'll take that to replace the rapier I'm down for right now.
You find 2 potions.
I will take those.
Potion J and Potion K.
Those are yours, Hawks.
Potion J is a pretty bulky bottle, actually. It's a little larger. Most of these potions you drink are just little vials with like maybe half a swig in them. This one is a larger potion. And looking at it in the dim light of Windy's torch, it's a sickly green color, and floating in the middle of it is just this kind of rounded lump of what just looks like pus or phlegm.
Oh, does it remind me of the potion that guy drank?
You didn't get a real good look at the one he drank, but
Oh, okay.
The size of the bottle tells you that probably not, because the one that he drank was a standard like little vial. This is more of like an alchemical beaker.
All right.
A potion K is a pale red liquid with milky streaks in it. You also find...
Sorry, I missed what we found. How did
I
we
wrote
find
it.
it?
A couple potions on Orion.
On Orion. Orion's dead.
Yes.
Yeah,
Orion
he's
is very
super
dead.
dead.
Cool.
His arm has been severed by this orc's axe.
So you have so far proved the best Dragonborn that we have met.
You also find in his person, he's not wearing it. It's not clipped to his clothes. It's in his coin pouch, along with the coinage you found. A small silver pin.
Hey.
It's just like a thin piece of silver wire bent into a little ornate shape. And one part of it is very sharp, and it's got a brownish tinge to it, like it's stained with old blood.
That sounds like magic shit to me.
Really? Does it look like something you might apply a poison with?
You notice it right away. The shape that it's bent into is a Yuan-ti glyph. It's called a mark of retribution. This is given to him by the tribe as a sort of black mark. It gives him the permission to hunt down and bring to justice a Yuan-ti criminal. It's his license to kill, in other words.
Yeah, I'll flatly share that with the group.
Okay.
Who is he the one he was paying attention to? Was it you, Red?
Mm-hmm.
Red, I think you might be a famous criminal.
I wouldn't say criminal. There might be some people who are upset with certain creativities I took with bookkeeping at one point when I was working in the slave rings taking numbers, but it was all legal.
Sure.
And at this point, the winds start to pick up and the snow starts to fall a little more heavily.
Number criminal. Alright, well, let's head back. We can let them know the good, bad news?
Neutral.
The neutral news. No, he wanted to kill Red. I'm gonna say the good news.
I mean, but we didn't get any, like, reasons or anything, so it's
Number
a
of
wash.
reasons.
It's a wash.
I'll pick up my torch on the way.
Okay. And the two lizardmen that had accompanied you here, still looking very confusedly at the situation, follow you back to Aserafall.
Adrex mutters and curses at them a bit in Draconic
Okay.
For not helping.
for not helping.
Yeah.
Do you really
So
think they
there.
would have been much of a help?
Would have been more bodies.
It would have been more bodies, yes, almost literally.
CR 1/2 lizardmen?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know, orcs have a weirdly low CR too.
yeah, but I beefed these ones up a little bit. Yeah,
How many javelins did Adrex collect?
I'm gonna say you can reasonably carry three javelins, three full-size
Done.
javelins.
I
I don't track those for my orcs because they don't survive 3 rounds anyway. But
I just want to be able to do more things.
okay,
Because I know I said at the beginning of this, tired of doing ranged things, but as it turns out, maybe I don't want to get up in everyone's grill all the time.
maybe, yeah.
So,
Yeah, these are the standard stats for javelins are in the PHB. You can look that
yeah,
up.
I got them already.
Okay.
Roz is going to take a javelin as well.
Arriving.
Replace the one that she lost on the Feywild.
Okay. Limping back into Aserafall, you're quickly met at the borders by several more lizard men, and they have a brief, curt conversation with the ones that came back with you. And then, without much regarding you at all, they all leave your presence and head off in the direction of the mayor's house.
Bye! Bye! It was cool hanging out with you. Bye!
I don't know about you, but I could use a pie.
I'm going to bed. It is like 1 in the morning. Red, you're staying with me. And we are going to bed.
Okay, everybody can take the
Yeah.
benefits of the long rest.
Oh,
Hooray!
sweet baby Jesus, thank you.
Let's see, just make
Gonna have
sure.
to do hit dice and everything. But what nonsense is this?
And of course, first thing next morning, even before breakfast, you receive Huyan's summons. One of the Moakton runners comes over to Mother Stackpole's house and says that Huyan has requested your presence.
14.
Man, how are you so unlucky when you... Sorry.
Yeah?
My microphone wasn't muted. What was that? Yuan requires our presence.
Even before breakfast the next day is when the sun comes up. Yeah, she sends a Moakton runner over to Mother Stackpole's house and requests your presence.
Yeah, alright. Sure. I'm in the mood for this.
Question, because it's not on our list. Who has that dagger that we might have accidentally stolen from the Dragon Slayer by not killing the dragon that he had?
I have that.
Okay, just making sure.
And we didn't steal it, because I'm going to kill a dragon with it at some point.
It'll happen. Entering into the mayor's house. Again, they have the big meeting table has been pulled away and replaced with a meditation mat for Huyan. She's currently sitting next to it, holding a bowl in one hand, eating what looks like porridge or gruel out of it for breakfast. She sees you all come in, and she has a very distant look on her face. She doesn't look happy to see you as you come in. She sets her breakfast aside, stands up, ushers you come forward. And then she asks for a report of last night's disturbance.
There appears to have been someone after me.
Our friend was stabbed in his sleep. We had to go and we had to chase him. And as it turns out, we were surrounded and assaulted. By the way, cool guards you have. Real big help they are. But, you know, we took care of it.
She asks if she detects a bit of disrespect in your voice in her presence.
Oh, I didn't realize I wasn't being subtle enough.
And that's your answer you go with?
Yeah.
Huyan asks you why she should lay down the lives of her guards for problems and issues brought into her town by outsiders.
Oh, so it's your town now.
She casts a sideward glance in Raazu's direction for a moment, but then back at Adrex.
Because sometimes you should just do the right thing. And it sort of starts to dawn on Adrex that maybe you should be a little more subtle. And he follows it up with a little cranky. You know, being on death's door and not sleeping well will do that.
She looks around at the wounds that you suffered last night. She says that she's had her report that you ran afoul of an orc patrol considerably outside the village borders, that none of you seem to have died in battle, that the orcs were set to rout, and that her lizard men guards didn't have to pay for their lives. So she asks, it seems as though everyone involved did the right thing.
I mean, I'm sorry, Adrex, but I don't know that the lizardmen could have helped. And personally, I wouldn't want them to give up their life for nothing.
And you get a brief nod of acknowledgement from Huyan on that note.
Adrex crosses his arms, unimpressed.
She says, so the Dragonborn that came with you, you brought treachery into the village. And to remind her, at this point, she has no idea that you've met with her brother. Nobody has informed her of that, to my knowledge.
Right, and also, just a reminder, Red would have pointed this out again, you know, when we woke up before we came over here. No one should mention any of the Moakton that we brought back from the Feywild.
Yep. But I will mention, because it seems like it backs up our story, that, yeah, he seems to have come from the Yuan-ti. Red, show her the thing that you found.
Yeah, I'll pull it out of my cloak. It seems to be a personal grudge from my former home.
She admonishes you for bringing your grudges into the town and possibly bringing danger to the citizens here. But then with the next breath, she praises you for having dealt with the problem outside of the borders without bloodshed on behalf of the Moakton or the lizard folk. Then she asks if this problem is one that's going to persist for your stay in town, or if this is something that is now finished.
Well, I wouldn't say it would persist, but I also wouldn't say it's finished. It's probably
I
gonna
wouldn't
follow
say
me
that we're going to
around.
persist in the town, so...
Yeah, it'll follow me around, but I doubt they're gonna... Anyone will be sending another assassin, or more likely kidnapper. That dagger could easily have killed me if he'd gone another quarter inch to the left.
He did exactly your hit point total, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the assassinate ability, so...
And if I wasn't immune to poison, I'd be dead.
Yeah, but he probably would have known that, so he probably wouldn't have used poison.
Oh.
Eh,
Funny, I remember having to tell you that I was immune to poison when you asked.
maybe he just really likes poison.
Let me double check his stat block here, because maybe you're right.
I too
Oh,
remember.
yeah, you're right. Plus 7d6 poison damage. So
7d6. Oh man.
Oh, that's the good stuff. Yeah.
Why can't you use poison like that?
I can. I don't have a lot of it. I'm saving it for a really important fight.
And at this point, Huyan, she doesn't say it outright. She's trying to continue to be distant but polite. But you get that she's making heavy hints that maybe it's time for you all to move on. Just over the course of the morning's discussion.
And Adrex looks less and less impressed.
Less and less impressed.
Yeah.
Does anybody have anything else for Huyan this morning?
No.
I don't think so.
How much longer do you guys stay in the village?
How about this? How about a discussion afterward? Away from Huyan and
Okay.
Brick, by the way, during that long rest, can I try to identify this bow if it's a magic item? That's a long rest thing, right?
You can, if you have the identify spell or the detect magic spell, you can.
Oh, I thought that was something you could do as part of a long rest, is try to...
It is
out.
by the rules, but I think that rule is stupid, so I don't use it. Because if you could just do that during a long rest, why bother having an identify spell?
Brick Road.
It's a much nicer bow than you've been carrying. Don't act surprised. This rule's been in effect for 3 campaigns now.
I thought it was something we did. I'm just misremembering.
You're fired. It's a very nice longbow, though. It's larger and heavier than the one you've been using. It looks as though it was made for something like larger than an orc.
Brick, I just want to say real quick, I'm very glad that you said then the one you've been using and not then your longbow, because as is clear, these are both my longbow.
Like Birdie would be incapable of using this bow that you took from this orc. He just doesn't have the arm span for it. But yeah, it's very nice.
Could I use the regular longbow?
Actually, a longbow might be heavy. Is a longbow heavy?
I believe so.
Because if it's
Yeah, I
heavy,
think so.
you could use it, but at disadvantage because you're small.
Yeah.
But this one, like Wendy's standard longbow, you might be able to use at disadvantage just because it's so awkward for you. But then this one that she has, like, it's just not within the realm of possibility.
I had to have a special Kensei class feature to be able to use a longbow.
So, where in town, Raazu, do you lead your companions to have a discussion?
I would say Mother Stackpole's house.
And while we're walking over, I'll say to Adrex, by the way, Adrex, I wouldn't have wanted lizardmen to hurt themselves, but she knew too, and she could have helped.
I don't like her. She's a jerk.
There, she's a jerk.
I mean, she has a point.
Don't
Yeah,
you
God forbid somebody bring their own personal problems from home to the village. That would be ridiculous.
I didn't even think of that.
So Raazu has called this meeting to order. You guys are here near to the woods?
Yeah.
Oh, he's in Mother Stackpole's.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys went back to her house?
Yeah.
I just looked at the board and saw where all your things were. Are you including her in this conversation?
I mean, we're not including her,
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if she wants to include herself, that's fine.
and we assume she does.
You start this conversation, and Wendy makes this offhand comment about, yeah, that would be ridiculous if someone just came to town, and then Mother Stackpole kind of pipes up. She says, well, when are you lot going to kick her out?
Raazu nods and says, "Oh, I intend to. We're not leaving this town until Huyan is in chains and she's back in
Do the
Tao's.
No, that's
Tao's
not
custody.
true. None of that is true.
Moakton want her out?
The Moakton are very apprehensive because it's fast approaching time where they have to make a trade with White Mother. And Huyan has said that she has a better way to protect the town and is disallowing that tradition to continue. She considers it to be barbaric and backwards. So her lizard men are essentially in charge of the town now, and in another week or two, if they don't perform this ritual, this lottery to determine which infant is turned over to the White Mother, nobody knows what's going to happen after that.
So
Exactly. We have a third option.
Sacrifice Huyan to the White Mother. I agree.
Alright, well that was a quick jump from jerk to sacrifice.
would that work?
Probably not, but I'm not inclined to have.
What would she want with Huyan?
Are you in?
I'm not.
Birdie, are you really interested in going and asking her to find out?
Well, we could offer and see. And no, we shouldn't.
Red just sort of nods when you realize what you're saying.
That was a very quick 180.
I just remembered how we left the field. Like, slightly on fire, so...
It was a little bit on fire, yes.
Which is impressive considering the Snowbow Queen's domain.
Do you tell any of that to Mother Stackpool? Because so far you guys haven't informed anybody in town of basically anything you've done.
I mean...
I think.
Are we involving Mother? I mean, Mother Stackpool is one of the Moakton I like and trust the most.
Yeah.
But it's up
But
to
isn't
you guys
she
whether you
also
think
the
we should
biggest
involve her.
gossip in town?
That's the thing.
She is a pretty
Ah.
severe gossip, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of already told her some things.
What did you tell her?
I don't remember. Check the Bob.
Check the VOD.
As I recall, you told her about Josiah Stackpool that you found in the Feywild
Oh.
and brought back.
Well then, that looks like that particular cat is out of the bag.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, look, the only question
Where?
in my mind is, can we trust Huyan's father, or at least his agents, if we decide to side with them and throw the lizard folk out of...
Well,
in
it seemed to me that this is just me going off of the vibe that I got from the VOD, and allegedly Raazu was there.
Allegedly.
It seemed like to him that Huyan's father didn't give two shits about this place. Like he was kind of retreating to his own borders.
Like,
It seems to me that neither he nor his sister are very subtle. They both pretty much say whatever they're thinking at any given point in time.
Yeah, and that's the kind of vibe I got.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. I haven't picked up any specific duplicity. I'm usually fairly good at that.
And the thing that I find most dangerous about Huyan is that she has absolutely no self-awareness at all.
Well, this was her idea of working peacefully with Moakton, remember? She thinks
Right.
she's implemented our plan.
Exactly.
Her brother, at least, I think... I don't know. I mean, ultimately, this is the devil you know against the devil you don't know.
yeah, but Huyan's...
I'd be inclined to side with her brother right now, unless something else came up. Even after what happened last night, I feel like... Also, he's obviously not very good at sussing things out.
Regarding that, I feel like we should at least have a discussion as to whether or not we're in a bad situation with that right now. Because this is how I see it. He looks into where his agent went, who he sent with us. He finds a bunch of dead orcs who very clearly killed his agent, and then a bunch of dead orcs very clearly killed by us. And he goes mad and goes and kills orcs. I don't think he's going to be upset at us.
Well,
So as
he
far as...
He was just one of his mercenaries. He wasn't one of his men.
Also,
Right.
I mean, he's going to go mad and kill orcs almost regardless, which is, again, why I think I might, all else being equal, side with him.
Right. So I think that the worst possible thing we could do is go and see him now. I think we let him go mad, kill some orcs, and then we show up later. Maybe we kill some orcs beforehand, and we're in a pretty good situation with him.
I'm always down for killing orcs. In fact, we should go kill orcs right now.
It'd be hard to make this place worse by killing orcs.
Well,
I mean, the question there is, I mean, he's expecting us if we're going to work with him, and also if we're going to go get some of our friends from the Feywild, we would need to go back to the camp and let them know what we've decided. It's not like we have someone we can send back anymore.
That's true.
Like, I think we should go side with her brother because I don't like Huyan. She threatened to eat me when we first met her.
Birdie, if you're going to dislike everyone who threatens to eat you,
Listen, that is
a lot of people to dislike.
I dislike a lot of
to
people,
eat you twice last week. Come on.
and I will never forgive you.
Mm-hmm.
And like, but I also remind you, I hogtied you and left you in a
In a net, yeah.
So we're kind of even.
Shut up or I'll eat you.
Really surprised you couldn't slip out of that.
I'll eat you both.
You're a vegetarian.
I'd like to see you try it. Adrex holds out an arm.
So it started as a discussion on which of these two half-dragons to side with has turned into a 2-hour-long debate over who of you is going to eat the others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
I think we all eventually
Hey,
decide
hey,
it's probably going
focus.
to be red.
Focus. Come on. This is an important decision that we need to make.
I
Yes,
mean,
Mom.
Because
I mean, Raazu, are you in agreement? Because I think everyone else so far is pretty much
yes.
on the same page. So then the only
Yes,
question is,
then we need a plan of action.
Well, I was about to say, the only question is, do we leave immediately, or do we try and just take Huyan right now? Well, she might not expect it. I'm in no position to start a fight right now, personally, so...
I think she's expecting a fight, whether or not from us, whether or not.
But right now we're already past her guards. If we come back with an army...
Yeah.
I mean, her guards were nervous to take on a few
My
orcs.
biggest
I think we'll be
concern at this point
fine.
is hostages.
But
Wait,
I haven't. But I haven't. But I'm still wounded from last night
Why are we taking her out? We just don't like her?
because she's setting up this town to be some kind of tin pot dictator.
Because she's destabilizing the region.
Because she threatened to eat me.
Because ultimately, I think siding with her brother and her father is going to be better for the area.
Okay.
That's my reasoning. I think each of us seems to have our own reason, but...
And yeah, we have to do that because if we let the brother do it, we'll start to raise the town.
Or the brother might just raise the town himself to get at her.
I don't think so. I'd be much more worried about Huyan burning the place as she fled than him coming in with fire. Again, my main concern at this point is how do we minimize hostages, because that's her best leverage.
She
She
does
has some
have...
back in shallow scale, and she has an entire town here.
That's correct, yes. Thedekes still holds shallow scale with some of the Mokten, especially several of the children.
We could try and intercept any runners. I mean, I wish we knew if she had any way to magically contact her allies, but one option would be to try and intercept any runners that might go between here and there. It's not like she can, well, hopefully she can't telepathically tell anyone over there what's happened.
We also don't need to necessarily bring the children back here. We can give them to other allies.
What other allies?
And I just like turn and look at Birdie like, Birdie, come on.
The Moakton strike group.
Throw up both arms.
So how are you guys going to play this? What's the decision?
How are we going to play this?
If I'm understanding it, it looks like your guys are trying to choose between setting up and taking her out now while you're here.
Yeah.
Or returning back to Hantao, telling him of your decision and coordinating with him. Is that correct?
Fortunately, if we wait for either of those things, then that gives Huyan more of an opportunity to act against us.
Maybe we should just take... Well, the thing is we can't kill Huyan because her brother is here to get her.
Should we just see what happens?
I have an idea. Go to the Underdark.
Yeah, run away from the problem. That sounds like a great idea.
I mean, it is possible that we are making things worse.
My only thought is someone might be able to, probably Birdie or myself, hide within the town for when the attack comes. Unfortunately, again, lack of magical communication.
Like, if we're gonna do this, I think, like, somebody should see if her brother will go and get the children, and then maybe we could take Huyan out, and kind of a joint.
I think if we offer him those two jobs, he's going to be on this side.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't. I mean, he can come in and help.
I think
That would
the
be great,
Moakton Salters
because-
would be... I mean, the main thing is we could... Here's my goal. If we can avoid violence and shadow scale by showing them that Huyan's been displaced and that they don't need to follow her anymore, we might not... I don't want to have a bunch of dead lizard men, if I can help it, and whoever goes to fight them.
I agree.
So, striking here as quickly and cleanly as possible is probably the best course of action.
I'm neutral on the dead lizard men thing.
None of the lizardmen have ever threatened to eat Birdie. So is that the decision? We're going to try to organize a strike against Huyan while you're in town, while she least expects it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of preparatory work do you guys put into place for this? No matter where you go in town, it always seems like there are lizard man eyes following you. It's very...
Raazu looks to Lady Stack, to Mother Stackpool, and says, "The more word of this that gets out among the other people, the higher chance it is that some of the Moakton are going to die."
Roll a persuasion check.
We don't need security leaks here.
Loose lips sink Moakton villages.
Yep. Let's see. That is a 23.
Okay. She seems to be very interested in how you're going to do this.
So am I. So am I.
And
Claps her on the shoulder.
for her part, she puts herself at your disposal if there's any part that she can play in removing the half-dragon. And she assures you there are other people in town that she would trust to include on this. So if you have a role for the Moakton to play in the village, there are several families who know you to be the heroes that you are, and would
All
like
the
to see
Rangers
the
are out of
half-dragon
town, right?
removed. The Rangers are gone, yes. There are no Rangers.
Maybe a distraction? Set fire or something?
Well, I have an idea. I don't know how much you guys will like it,
Shoot.
especially after last night.
Well,
You could all leave, along with one Moakton disguised like me. I mean, I wear a cloak most of the time anyway. And then come back under the cover of night with are friends, and I'll be here to try and do what I can to minimize casualties and work from the inside. I'm good enough at staying unseen. Normally, I'd say Birdie could come with us, but I don't think there's no child we can send that looks like Birdie. I'm afraid.
Sorry, I don't follow this plan. What's the idea? You're just sneaking.
All of you go back to the camp with Huyan's brother and a Mokden disguised as me.
Oh.
I stay in town to do what I can to minimize casualties among hostages and coordinate your attack probably tomorrow night.
Okay.
Again, I'm good at staying out of sight, so if they think that I'm with you, it's one again. And after last night, I understand if this is not exactly where we want to be, but I don't have a better idea.
Well, we've already taken care of your assailant, so I'm not really too worried about that.
I think that that's good, but I'd like to get your opinion on this before we leave, Red.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that if we get the other army to set up on the south side of the village,
Mm-hmm.
that the lizardmen will gather there to defend, but Huyan might stay back?
Seems like her style. That's a pretty good plan, especially if you bring the dragon's army to the south. You can bring the Mokden, who they don't know about, from the north.
Right, and we can head with them.
Yep.
I think that's our best way to minimize lizardmen casualties. That way the fight from the south doesn't need to necessarily even happen.
Have him stage his troops to the south, yes.
And the big thing I would do is see if you can't have scouts covering the town as much as possible to make sure that no runners make it back to Shadowscale to let them know to kill the hostages.
Agreed.
Alright, so you're going to find a Mokden here in town to dress like Red. Mother Stackpool, because the Mokden are fairly stocky and kind of
That's the
fat
biggest
people.
problem.
However, Mother Stackpool recommends Ianto Yarwood. He's the young sickly lad who you brought flowers back to town for that his wife wanted. She thinks if you throw a cloak over him at a distance, and maybe with those like weird slit eyes that Lizard Man has, you could probably pass for Red at a distance, especially in the dark. She says that it would be pretty easy to hide Red for the time being in the well, she can hide you here at her house, basically.
Yeah.
Give Red the knife.
The stiletto?
The dragon knife.
The dragon knife? Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Is she gonna have to
What
fight a
is
dragon?
this?
Well, I
Yeah.
guess actually,
Yeah! Yeah!
The
he
biggest
did
problem with
mention that he wanted to kill Huyan.
No, he said he wanted to take her back in
Yes,
chains
the
if necessary.
biggest problem with this plan is that I can't just kill you. Is that we're not. It's not that I
Yeah.
can't. It's that we aren't in a position where we can politically just kill Huyan.
Yeah.
Her brother did give every indication that his job is to take her back to their father alive.
Yeah, so we can't just shank Huyan. That ain't gonna work.
I'm going to be honest with you. If it comes between Red dying and Huyan dying,
Oh, Huyan, no question.
so
We'll just have to
I'm
deal with
more
it.
than willing to give Red the dagger.
Okay. So this is our plan. We're heading off with the toy maker, leaving Red behind here.
Do it. Not tomorrow night. The night after.
You want to
Gives
take
you time
another long rest here in town?
Basically, yeah.
Yes,
I need
please.
another long rest. Unlike I don't know about anybody else.
Well, in that case, I'm going to start identifying some of the potions we have.
Oh, this will be fun. Okay, which one?
Let's see. Let's identify potion H. Since it's the one-
Windy, Here, and I'll give you my Horn of Silent Alarm.
So much better.
Sorry.
How does this work?
Let them talk, sir.
So potion H. So you're getting that from Raazu to test it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many sips are we taking out of potion
Just
H?
one sip.
Just one sip. Okay, go ahead and roll.
I rolled a 21.
21. Potion H is a potion of spider climb. So it's essentially a potion of climbing. Just from my notes, I have all the potions listed as a spell rather than an effect.
Okay. Do I have time to do any more potions?
Yeah, over the course of the long rest, you could attempt all of them.
Okay, well, I'll attempt every single one of them until I either explode or die of poisoning, one of the two.
Potioning.
You don't have potion E.
I'm doing K.
K. All right, one sip of
Yeah.
that.
2 sips.
Okay, go ahead and make that check.
And that is a 14 plus whatever the bonus is for the extra sip.
That is a potion of contagion.
Well,
You drink this potion, and it gives you the ability with unarmed strike to inflict flesh rot disease.
do I get flesh rot disease?
You do not. No, you do not contract the
Okay.
disease yourself.
And that was K, right? Potion.
Right. Anything else?
And yep, J.
Oh, let me mark which ones you've identified. That was H. That was K. And how many sips of J?
Just 2 sips.
Okay, go ahead and make that check.
That is a 12 plus however many.
And this is by a very... Now, you have to make a decision when you go to take little sips out of this, because you've got this big, like, just lump of what looks like phlegm or pus kind of balled up in the center of it. Do you drink that down?
No.
Right? This is by far the most nauseating potion you've ever tasted in your life. And after you take a swig out of it, like, you have to... Your eyes start to hurt for a minute. You have to kind of blink for a second. Your vision goes real fuzzy before returning to normal. This is a potion of Arcane Eye. And it works in a very peculiar way. You have to swallow the entire thing, including that fleshy lump, and then fail a Constitution saving throw, in which case you will go blind and you will vomit up an Arcane Eye as per the spell.
Okay.
So you're blind, but you have your little floating eyeball that you can send around.
Can you choose to fail?
Yes. Yes, you can choose to fail a save.
Alright, and the last potion is G.
And how many sips do you take out of this?
2.
Okay, go ahead and make that check.
That would be 12 plus whatever.
And this is a potion of protection from energy, specifically resistance to cold. Which is why it showed up in the Ice Bridge Fort.
Well, it's not like we had time to sit down and go, what does this do?
You guys took short rests in there.
Don't burn us like this.
So yeah, Birdie spends most of the night sucking down various potions. Go ahead and spend any hit dice you want to spend. Does anybody else make any kind of preparations in town for setting this off?
No, I think at this point, any more preparations we set are just going to raise the chance of being discovered.
But I'm gonna give Windy my Horn of Silent Alarm.
Okay.
Just picture me in your mind and blow it, and I'll be the only one able to hear it. Carries about quarter of a mile.
All right. Do you want me to blow this when we're heading in?
Yep.
Yanto Yarwood is the sickly Moakton who's going to be kind of posing as red as you guys leave. What time of day are you leaving, by the way? You were told that darkness would be better because it'd be more difficult to spot that you were leaving with an imposter.
Yep, darkness seems good.
Okay.
And then we'll be returning the following night.
Yanto is... I don't want to say he seems excited to be helping you out because he's clearly terrified out of his mind. This is a man who has not ever left his village and who, in fact, when he wanted to leave his village for a particular reason, his council told him he was not allowed. But he seems to be placing quite a lot of trust in the group of you. Like, he's sure that out in the wilderness, you will be able to protect him.
So I gave I gave the potion of growth to Adrex, and I gave the potion of contagion to Wendy, just as a...
Which potion was growth? That was F?
Yes.
Okay, so Adrex has growth, and contagion. I've given that to Wendy. Okay.
What's potion of growth do?
You grow.
It's the enlarge spell.
Thank you. You grow. Alright, cool.
I love growing.
What did you think it did?
I wanted the mechanical effect.
Red.
Mechanically, you grow.
What do you do in town as you're hiding out? What's
For the first night, I'm just gonna hide out. After the second night, I'd like to do my best to scout and figure out where I think there will be potential for hostages, where I think Huyan would hold lizardmen back with that sort of intent, and also where Huyan herself might be.
Okay. Well, you know where Huyan is. Hold up. She's been staying in the mayor's place.
Right.
The first night that you're there alone, after your companions leave with Yanto, there's a knock on Mother Stackpool's door. She shushes you into a back room, and make me an intelligence check at disadvantage.
$17.
You don't speak the language, but you've been around the Moakton for long enough now that you can pick up a word or two here. More so, you pick up like the inflections of their speech. And there's a knock at the door, and it's one of the other Moakton villagers, one of the young women. And I mean, peeking out the window, the side of the house, you can see that she's come along with two lizard men. And each one of them is holding what looks like a brass urn. You can't understand the conversation back and forth, but you hear that, like, the Moakton woman makes a request, and Mother Stackpool kind of gives her the business for a minute, and there's a little bit of back and forth, and the young woman's starting to get a little bit annoyed. But then Mother Stackpool invites the lizard men in, and then you don't see them for a few minutes. You hear some sounds out in the next room.
Mm-hmm.
Staying here?
Did I hear both of the lizardmen go into the next room?
Yes, they both. You heard them come into the next room. Like, I guess, are you staying in here? Or are you going to try to sneak a peek? You run the risk of being.
I'm gonna sneak over and just sort of peer through the doorway.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check.
20.
Okay. You're very careful not to creak the door as you peek it open a crack and peek out. And Mother Stackpool has brought this young Moakton woman, along with the two lizard men holding urns, over to her wood-burning stove. And she douses it, and they wait a second, and they open up the front of it and take a little shovel, and they start shoveling ash into these urns. And you hear Stackpool continue to kind of admonish this woman, kind of just in her lovable Stackpool way.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they're emptying out the ash from the inside of the stove into these urns, after which the woman and the two lizard men leave. And after they're gone, she comes to the room where you are, and tells you that she's going to send one of the boys out to bring her more wood for the stove.